Hey everybody, this is Joe Owen, and I thought I would do a little bit of a video here on the GSG, the German Sport Gun 1911 chambered in .22 long rifle. It's imported by ATI, American Tactical, into the United States. These guns, I think suggested retail is about $310 in the States, but I picked this one up for $250, brand new, never fired. And I think that's a pretty common price that you can find this specific model of the GSG 1911 for. It pretty much takes 80% of a standard 1911 part, so you can put a new trigger, maybe different safeties and things like that in here. You can put different grips on it if you want, all that good stuff. I have not tried this, but I've been told that a standard 1911 magazine will even slide up into that mag well. It just won't lock in. You won't be able to operate the pistol with it. Thank God, because that could cause you some issues. Later on in this video, I do a little tear down real quick right here on the hood of my truck with this pistol, just using the tools that GSG provides in the packet. In this video, I'm also going through a few different brands, but more importantly, a few different velocities of .22 long rifle ammunition. Everything from 1,000 feet per second, just barely over 1,000 feet per second, to a rated 1,400 feet per second, and using some of the cheapest ammo you can find to operate this handgun. I did have some reliability issues with feeding early on. This is my third time out with this pistol. And the 1,400 feet per second ammunition that you'll see later on in this video, it would run the gun, but it would not run the gun reliably. So it might operate for 1 or 2 full mags without a malfunction, but then all of a sudden it would have a malfunction. And the reason being is because the slide operation was extremely gummed up. That's how it felt. You know, if you picked up a gun that, maybe you were too excited to shoot it, you didn't clean off all of the manufacturer's grease and everything out of every nook and cranny of the gun before you took it to the range, and you get out there and it feels just gummy when you operate the action. That's what this gun felt like. But I had cleaned it. And so what I discovered is, and what many have discovered, I'm not giving you any new novel information as far as the universe is concerned, just as far as I'm concerned and as far as you're concerned, maybe giving you some new information here. These guns are painted, they're not blued, and when they painted them, they paint the frame and they paint the slide separately, and there is paint overspray all over the rail system of the frame and of the slide. And so if those two systems are made to mate to each other perfectly, and then you put I don't know what a measurement would be, but maybe a couple thousandths of an inch of paint in there, it gets gummy and it doesn't want to work. So what I did, I'll explain later in the video on the breakdown exactly what I did. But I took 1,500 grit sandpaper just simply because I didn't have 2,000 grit sandpaper. And it's the kind of sandpaper you would use to do some wet sanding on a car or something like that, if you were doing a paint job on a car. Anyway, and I just took the paint off of the rail system of this pistol, and as you're about to see, it cycled almost every ammunition that I ran through it reliably. And so literally any ammunition for .22 long rifle that you would buy off of any shelf at a big box store or sporting goods store that runs, I would say, 1,150 feet per second or faster. You would have to do some testing to go down below that, but I would say it would likely run almost anything reliably after you clean up that rail system. And then after that, you can just do whatever upgrades you want to do. There's a few companies out there that make some really cool upgrades for this pistol, And you could make this an open class competition shooter. Many people have. For me, I don't know if I'll be doing any competition shooting with it, but I'll guarantee you that it is accurate enough. If you take your time, it is accurate enough that you could use it for small game hunting, which is likely what we'll do. We'll probably take some rabbits with this over the winter. And so, you know, that's some things that you should consider. It's an accurate pistol. It's reliable once it's kind of worked over, broke in, tuned up, and it's proven itself to you. You could take this gun out and do a little hunting with it. Obviously 22, and you'll see why later on in this video, 22 is not a round that I would trust my life to in a let's say a concealed carry situation or a combat shooting situation. Obviously, for many reasons, but the first reason being that it's just not reliable enough. So you'll see that later on in the video. Anyway, enjoy the video. I hope you learned something today, just like I recently learned something, and so I wanted to pass that information on to you. I hope this video does well for you. I hope if you buy one of these pistols, the pistol itself does well for you. It sure seems to be working out well for me. Have a good day and enjoy this video. Okay, we're out here playing with the GSG 1911-22 German sport guns, imported by ATI, and the Kimber 1911, the Sig Sauer 1911-22 is the same gun, just for FYI. I'm out here just trying a few different 22 ammunitions from different manufacturers and at different speeds. The old Remington bucket of bullets that everybody says not to use them. Okay, I just loaded up my last 7 rounds of the Federal Target Grade, supposedly, and these are listed at 1,200 feet per second. They say that's the minimum velocity that you want to use. I'm not going to shoot for accuracy here. I'm just going to try to show whether or not it's reliable. So all 7 of those went off with some pretty good pop. You can see empty mag, empty chamber. Won't show, I'm out at a buddy's place, I won't show his farm there. So anyway, I'll pause this. I'm going to load up with 10 rounds of the Remington Golden Bullet, the bucket of bullets. We'll see what happens with that. All right, muzzle's downrange, just so you can see. It is the Golden Bullet. Get some sunlight, maybe it'll show the gold. There we go. Okay. Again, we'll just shoot for reliability here. Empty chamber, empty mag. So all 10 rounds just fired right off. I will say that we were just out here a few days ago, and it was I think it was the second time out with this pistol. It may have been the first time out, and shooting into this same berm, had some targets up, and accuracy got better through the evening. We probably shot a couple 100 rounds out of this pistol, but you know, just like everybody else's, it was extremely, it felt like it was gummed up. Even though I had cleaned it, it felt as though it was gummed up when you worked the slide. The slide just seemed like it worked slow. It wasn't, you know, that just slid right forward. It wasn't crisp, if that's what you want to say. And so let me make this safe here. Okay, mag's out. Slide it to the rear. Anyway, it was not reliably feeding the Golden Bullet. We would have fail to feeds pretty often. I even shot some of these Standard Plus out of there. Now, here's the thing about these Standard Plus. 325 meters per second. This is a German ammunition. It's supposed to be extremely accurate and consistent. It's supposed to be a good target ammunition. But 325 meters per second is something like just over 1,000 feet per second. Now they say in the manual that you are supposed to shoot high velocity rounds through this pistol. And I agree with that. But I just wanted to test these out and see, is it possible to shoot lower velocity ammunition through this pistol? And so, full disclosure, I've already shot one mag of this. I would still show you even if I hadn't shot one mag. Now, the first 2 rounds in that mag, 2 or 3, yeah, the first 2 cycles of the action in that magazine failed to pick up another round, so it did not blow back all the way. But then after that, it cycled every round. So again, it's those high standard or whatever it was, velocity standard. So you can see it picked up that round and fed it. Let's see. Oh, didn't do it. Stand by. Oh, this is the first fail to extract on this pistol. Uh-oh. I hope that rapid succession of Golden Bullet didn't screw me over here, break my extractor. That'd be a disappointment. Okay, you can see my mag there. I'm just gonna work this action a time or two. Yep. My extractor. Well, there it went. Okay, it got it that time. Weird. The extractor's still there. Huh. I have never been able to work any extractor in any gun I've ever had just by simply pushing the extractor over with my finger. So I may have a bad spring. Yep. It did extract and eject that time. I think, let's see, we ran into the same problem. Yep. It didn't blow back far enough to pick up the next round. Now, I have as tight of a grip as possible, and my elbow is locked just to put as solid of a grip on this pistol as I can. And see, it didn't even blow back far enough to cock that hammer. So there you have it. It's probably luck. Yep, the casing was even still in there. It's probably just luck on that first mag that I shot. Yeah. So I won't waste any more of those. Playing with the GSG. I'll save those for something else. Okay, I accidentally hit stop instead of pause, so now I gotta figure out how to put these videos together. Anyways, so this is some Bitterroot Valley Ammunition Company 22 long rifle. It's 36 grain hollow point, and it is a deep hollow point. And I'm not going to shoot many of these tonight. I'll shoot one mag, just simply because for small game and things like that, they are an excellent little round. You actually get some expansion out of them and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to see if they'll cycle in here. They're listed as a high velocity round. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Uh-oh. So I felt it come back on that. The slide did come to the rear. Oh, interesting. Okay. Just had we had a good strike. Let's see if I can get it in the video. We had a good strike there on the primer. It just didn't go off. Pretty common in 22 rounds. And that is why most people would say, and correctly, 22 is not a good or reliable self-defense round. Just the main reason. Uh-oh. Must not be in battery. Yep, look at that. We are empty. Just for giggles. Let's see if we can feed that one round in. Let's see what happens to it. Nothing. We'll see if we have a primer strike again. Ow. Struck in the same dang spot, almost. Let's rotate it around here. Definitely don't want that going back in the box for obvious reasons. So we'll just see if it'll shoot, and if it don't shoot this time, we'll call it a complete dud. Nope. All right. Yep, we got good primer strike that time too. It's just a total loss. Any of y'all ever seen a Kansas sunset? They sure are beautiful. Guarantee you I won't be seeing any deer out here tonight. All right. Loaded up another magazine of Golden Bullet and set up a old 1970s Volvo maintenance manual. Put a few rounds in there. we are empty. Slide lock to the rear. Let's go see if any of those even hit that sucker. Well, for trying to film and shoot, I don't know. If I took a little more time and put some effort into it, I could get that down sub 4 inch from, I don't know, what is this? $14 yards. So, all right, well, it's a good start for this pistol. So, hey, I'll tell you what I did real quick. Let me go ahead and break it down, and then I'll show you what I did. Okay, so here is your complete slide assembly, ready to slide onto the frame. And just for those who are maybe new to this pistol, your slide lock lever will be in this larger hole here, and there's a pin behind it. Essentially, the slide lock lever, yes, locks your slide to the rear when your magazine is empty or when you're clearing the weapon, etc. But it also holds in this pin. So you take out the slide lock lever first, just like any standard 1911. And this pin behind it, you can get your large Allen key that comes in your kit with your pistol, and just push it from this side. Little effort at all, and it'll come right out. Then on the right side of the frame, if you know, as if the pistol is pointed downrange, there's a screw right here that your large Allen key will fit. And you simply take that screw out and those two pins, and then this entire slide assembly, barrel and everything, slides off of the frame to the front, slides forward. Anyhow, so what I did is all of this in here, not so much, where am I at here? There we go. Not so much this here. So this is what will catch your next round and introduce it to the chamber and feed it in. But the rails here, you can see where there's some black here that's not bluing. That's black, and then there's a little bit of metal showing on the edges. That was completely just caked up with paint. They paint these, they do not blue them. And also, it was on both sides of the slide, and it was inside the rails. And then on the frame, it was just caked up all over here. So it was even on this this detent, and it was on, what else? It was just on everything, you can see. So I took 1500 grit sandpaper, just because that's as fine as I had at the house, and I lightly just began to work it over these surfaces, being very careful to keep it as flat as possible against the surface, so as not to wear down any edge any more than the other. But my main goal was to not wear down the edges at all. And so I just worked it up and down the rail here, and then I went inside the rail, just on that top side of this groove, on both sides of the pistol, of the frame. And then I did the same thing in the rail system on both sides of the slide. That's all I did from the last time we shot. And as you can see with the Golden Bullet, I have 0 malfunctions with the Federal Target Grade Performance, which you still see a lot of that at Walmart. I think they may have just renamed the box now. No malfunctions. With the BVAC, the Bitterroot Valley, we had that fail to fire, which was a ammunition malfunction, not a gun malfunction. And standard Federal, the red box, you know, I can't even remember what they call that 22 ammo. Anyway, your standard Federal you find in the big 500 round box at Walmart. We shot a mag full of that as well before I started the video, or yeah, it was before I started the video. Anyways, so all of that has functioned perfectly out of this pistol, since I simply took the 1500 grit machine. It's the machining or metal work type sandpaper. You can wet sand with it. It's that type of paper like you would use for body work on a vehicle, and that's what I used. I did not hit the barrel, didn't touch the barrel with anything like that. The guide rod didn't touch anything, only the rail system on the pistol. That's all I touched, and all of a sudden it appears to be with good high velocity rounds. And I say good, meaning that the velocity of the round should be consistent as per the manufacturer's rated speed. There's definitely more recoil with these as compared to the Federal 1260 feet per second, or this Federal Target Grade, which is 1200 feet per second. The Remington bucket of bullets, golden bullet, bought it at Walmart for, I don't know, $69. Now this is the bucket I got for $59 a couple years ago. Anyways, that stuff runs non-stop apparently. I haven't had a malfunction since I brought it out here. Cheapest ammunition that I have out here today. So anyways, there you go. That's an introduction a little bit to the German sport gun GSG 1911-22, imported by ATI. While I'm talking here, I'll put this thing back together for you so you can just see how easy it is. Well, maybe you can't see, but simply slide the frame on. What I do is go ahead, drop this pin in, and then go ahead and drop in my slide lock lever. Get it lined up, get in there. Here we go. Now she's locked in, and then start my screw, put that in. There you go. And she's ready to go again. Ready to go again. Excuse the dirty Ford Bronco. All right, so the German Sport Gun 1911-22 is a pretty slick little gun. It's an excellent training firearm. My kids have shot it a few times. My wife shot it, and obviously all of them want their own, and so we may have to start working on that pretty soon. You know, for what are they? I got this one for about $250. I think suggested retail on it's like $310 or something like that. So you ought to be able to find it pretty easily for less than $310. Comes with the hard case, comes with all the tools to tear it down, adjust the trigger. That's right, it is an adjustable trigger. You can adjust, creep and things like that. It also comes with what you need to change the sights. It comes with several different heights of front sight. You can see them in there. So you can adjust your sight to your point of impact. Let's see, I believe you saw the rear of the sight system. It's just a green dot sight system, that's all it is. You know, they're high vis, I guess you could say. They're not necessarily, they don't glow in the dark or anything that I've seen. But there are better sights that you can get for it out there. And it might be something you want to do. They do have a model that comes with a thread adapter already on it. This one does not have the thread adapter, but I'll probably get it pretty soon. So you can just put standard 1/2 by 28 thread compensators on there, or whatever front accessory you would like to attach. You can get extra mags for them for, if you buy the Kimber mags, I've found them in the States for about 20 bucks on eBay. If you don't mind a stainless mag, finding the blued mag seems to be just a little bit harder to do. So I'm going to work on that. Anyway, all standard 1911 grips pretty much will fit this gun. If you want to use these grips on a standard 1911, you will have to probably modify them just a hair bit, because on the ambidextrous safety side, these are fit to this gun, which has a thinner safety bar here. And on a standard 1911, it'll be a little thicker, so you just have to open that up, and you could even use those on your standard 1911. I've not verified this or tried it or anything, but they say about 80% of the parts on a standard 1911 will fit this handgun. Sight system should be fairly well interchangeable for the most part. It's just standard dovetail sizes, front and rear. Let's see. Any parts that go into your frame, trigger parts, etc., will fit this frame. So it's a pretty neat little pistol. The only difference between this pistol and the SIG grips say Sig Sauer right here. Obviously, instead of GSG, it says Sig Sauer 1911-22, or maybe it just says 1911-22 here, and then it says Sig Sauer Company. So obviously the Sig Sauer does not have the German sport guns or the ATI emblems, but literally every other marking on it, I believe, is the same. And then on the Sig Sauer, the box where this says GSG, German sport guns, the SIG has the SIG emblem here, and it says Sig Sauer across here, but other than that, the box is even exactly the same. So anyway, there it is. A sweet little 1911 training gun. It is a full size 1911 45 replica chambered in .22 long rifle. You can plink all day to your heart's content with this little handgun. Pretty cool little deal. All right, there it is. Hope you like this video. Take care.